Texas Motor Speedway. Are we ready? Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines!
Start command has been given. Starting on for 1, count 'em off. Race control, on 1, both cars hot.
Again, if you've never seen a race at Texas Motor Speedway, strap in and hang on because we are about to unleash the horsepower. Here comes the field. And the Apex Brazil green flag is waving. Here we go in the Texas Indy 550.
Dario goes clear, but I noticed that Danica Patrick did not get a clean start. She's falling back just a bit.
But still early. I mean, right now it's all about survival. You don't want to do anything to hurt your car, take yourself out of this event. You're still building temperature and the tires and the pressures.
Wow, look at this. That was
Thomas Schechter was really passing cars at the high side of the racetrack.
And that was rough. We were on board with rough, and we were panning over, and we saw Schechter on the outside there.
Wow.
Schechter followed him through. We had some meat in the sandwich there. That is the difference between someone just protecting and
we got a couple of cars in trouble.
One was Graham Rahal, Milka Duno coming into the screen now.
And Milka was just on the low side of the track, and Graham had spun coming off there and just kind of came down and clipped her, and we'll take another look at that and see how it all started.
Wow.
EJ Viso. Yep, there is another car that was behind. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, so there's Viso in the wall. We never even saw him as part of that, but that was coming off of turn 2. And turn 2 is absolutely the toughest corner here because you just drop out of the bowl there, and it really flattens up. And if the car's pushing, let's watch.
Oh, Graham Rahal, it seemed to step out.
He did.
Yep.
It seemed to step out on its own.
The Apex Brazil green flag comes out once again. We are back to racing at Texas Motor Speedway. Let's hope we can go some laps here with some side-by-side action. Dario moves away by about 5 car lengths into turn 1. Briscoe is second. Dixon third, then Helio. On board with Danica. She's 6th. And Briscoe makes a bid for the lead coming off corner number 4.
Even Dario got a wiggle going there on the low side.
And they race wheel to wheel down through the quad oval here in front of the grandstand into turn 1. Is anybody going to give? Whoa! Man.
It looks close to us, and it's just that close in person out there.
Look at this.
Man.
Look at this.
You know, the competition here is so close and so tight. That pit out lap and that pit in lap and what you do from start finish on the beginning of the pit box and coming out. Looking at Dornbos for the Newman Haas Lanigan team.
He was running in 6th position, so a good run for Bobby D.
He said, I just love, he really enjoys this racetrack. He's like, I just push so hard on the gas. I get my other foot on there and I just press down and drive around this racetrack.
Scott Dixon, here he comes. He was running 4th. Lindy, he's headed toward you.
And Scott Dixon, just like everyone else, has been wanting some adjustments on his car. Earlier, he said, you know what? I just really need the front of this car better. And here he comes in getting tires and fuel.
Clean stop, and Dixon roars back into competition. Dario Franchitti is on pit lane. 60 miles an hour is the pit speed limit.
Seems like you're crawling as you're coming down there, doesn't it? Oh, man.
Now, where that fuel probe went in, the IndyCar Series is thinking about experimenting and adding a sensor, which we'll get back to. In the meantime, let's get to Lindy.
And here comes Ryan Briscoe, and it looks like tires and fuel, and they are not making any adjustments to that car. Again, he has said everything feels great, and he just wants to keep going.
Oh, that was a fast one. And Lindy, what I was going to be saying there is they're considering adding a sensor to the fuel probe that you cannot leave the pits until it's actually disengaged from the car. You physically couldn't even put it into gear, and that's something that may only be a few weeks away from actual testing. So they're working on trying to solve that issue.
Great idea.
It is a great idea.
Yep.
Did you see him hauling, coming down in off of turn 4
yeah.
there? I mean, that's where you make time under green, is you challenge that race car all the way till you get to that 60-mile-an-hour barrier, and he was humming coming in.
Half turn a wing.
Helio peels away.
And you could see the flash. You could see Briscoe, his
Ryan,
teammate, already up to speed.
We are nearing a record pace. The record for the event here is 185.710 miles an hour, and right now the average speed of the race is 184.8. So we're within a mile an hour of being in the record book.
And circling back to what we just heard from Conway, I absolutely agree with him. If Marco can get up and chase this guy right here, Briscoe, if he can get there, he can hold his own with him. But to make up that deficit, that's what's going to be the real challenge here.
Yep, and he is pulling away from Marco. It's now up to more than 11 seconds separation. It was 9.9 again when Marco went into second. And now the second position is 11.4.
Wow. I've never seen somebody at this racetrack do what he's doing right now.
Yep.
Oh,
Yellow
and this is
somewhere.
a yellow.
Oh.
Let's hope it's for something simple like debris.
Let's hope, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Because you know what this means.
That's it.
Everything that Ryan Briscoe has worked for is gone.
Okay, I'm
Except
getting
for
goosebumps
there's
now.
a few lap cars in between, but now everyone who thinks they couldn't catch Ryan gets a second chance.
Here we go. The green flag is out, and we do have one car, namely A.J. Foyt the fourth, between first place Briscoe and second place Andretti. Look at Marco up on the top side, and so is Franchitti. Dario dives to the inside of Alex Tagliani.
He sure did, and he, like you say, he was the guy on the high side off too, had a big run, and then went to the inside as he went into threes, got that pass done on tags.
Whoa, what a late move down to the low side. Marco stays high. Castroneves goes low. Now the gloves are coming off.
Whoa.
They sure are.
And Team Penske is back in first and second. Okay.
Anthony, you okay? What happened, Anthony?
AJ asked what happened, Anthony.
Say, bro?
Something broke.
This is the time that makes hay. Teammates, Team Penske, both in the same shot.
Look at that.
That shows how close they are.
Helio pitted down toward pit out. Briscoe arrives on the bottom of your screen.
This time they all got to their marks.
Wow.
And who's going to win the battle out? It's going to be Helio.
He had a 6.0. Listen to the crowd.
Helio Castroneves has the lead.
And it's worth noting, he has the final pit selection. But hang on, it's done by owner points. He's not leading the points, but he's leading the owner points. When Will Power drove that car in the first race of the year, he earned 28 points, and that means that he got the first pit selection. So he had the premier spot of having the last spot on pit out, and that may make the difference for a win here for Castroneves. Thank you very much, Will Power. So here we go.
Green flag waves again. Look at the battle for third already shaping up as Dario tries to get to the high side of Dixon but cannot do it.
Look how quickly Briscoe just comes right back on the back of Castroneves.
Now he looks high going into three.
So how much teamwork is there going to be here with the Penske cars? You remember watching at Milwaukee last weekend? The hardest guy for Ryan Briscoe, the leader, to get around was his teammate Helio Castroneves, who he's chasing
That's
right now.
Yep, good point.
I think if I'm Ryan Briscoe, I want to find out, could I pass Helio if I wanted to? Once you learn that information, then I'd stay behind.
And Danica is looking really racy. Here's battling Weldon for sixth spot.
And we saw how hard it is to pass. She had a really good run off of 2, but now she's had to tuck back behind Weldon. She was up alongside him, even ahead of him as they went into turn 3.
As we're seeing Marco do here on the outside. These two have been at it for a long time.
They sure have.
Ever since we went back to green flag, these two guys have been fighting for position.
And there was even one time where Marco tried to go to the low side of Danica and got all kind of squirrely. We know his car doesn't like being down there.
Boy, she is not willing to give up that position, is she?
No. And this is what we were hoping we saw the Penske cars do earlier. But I mean, these guys fighting for position here, that's all they're doing. They're fighting for position because they're falling back from that group in front of him. But right now, they don't care.
Danica wants to record another top 5 finish. Right now, well, she just dropped back to 6th. Here's the lead, 1st and 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th right there. And there is Danica and Marco.
Well, Helio, he said, you know, he absolutely loves this racetrack, but he also said it with kind of a sigh of just how intense this racetrack can be and just exhaustion. But, you know, getting the satisfaction of doing what he's doing right now, that's just gives you the love of the challenge of this high bank place.
We're on the last lap of the race. Down the backstretch, still no closing in by Ryan Briscoe.
Ain't gonna happen.
Helio Castroneves comes off of corner number 4, heads for the checkered flag, and Helio Castroneves wins at Texas, his 16th career win, his 2nd win of the year. Of course, he won at Indianapolis. His 13th win on an oval in the IndyCar Series, and it's the 5th Texas win for Team Penske in the last 8 races. The captain brings home another win, and not only that, a 1-2 finish. And Helio joins Sam Hornish as a 3-time winner at Texas.